stuff. Yeah, I definitely catch myself.
Yeah. These women cannot be saying this and then they turn around and you're the reason why we got the flag. These women, it's always about these women. These women, it's like they always, it's like they.
I like how your impression of me is some really angry black woman.
That's because I love them. Why you target women all that? It's like, yo, we don't want to put women down.
So why do you think that they may have that impression?
I understand why they have that impression because there's a lot of videos that are, issues that involve women. And that's because that's who we deal with. Deal with women. There's a lot of things in this equality era, this fight for equality that we deal with right now in this era. There's a lot of things that are omitted. And we don't talk about it. It's like those problems are non-existent or they're not talked about. We recognize that there's inequalities between men and women, but there's a lot of inequalities that we don't talk about. We want equality, but the fight for equality is really when it benefits one side. Me having an issue doesn't discredit your issue that you have. If I bring up an issue that men have, by doing that, I'm not discrediting the issues that women have. I'm not doing that at all. That is not the point. You're able and you have the right to talk about your issues. Cool. I'm going to talk about my issues. Same way white people should have this right to talk about their issues as well.
So are we misogynistic?
And the point is not to be like, women are bad, women are bad, women are bad. Women are toxic. That's not bad. We're here to say, okay, if we want equality, we're going to talk about the toxicity of everybody.
Both people can be toxic.
Yeah, both people can be toxic. Let's not paint a picture where women are right and men are wrong. That's not even the case.
The toxicity of these ladies exists.
It exists as well on both camps. It's hard to hear that sometimes. Like, oh, again. It's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
There are already people talking about your problems.
Yeah.
And I believe that womanism is to help women.
Yes.
And you don't have to help men. And that's fine.
Yes.
You already have your battle.
That's right.
Do your thing.
Do it.
Live on. Fight the power.
Fight it.
But then who's going to talk about our issues? We don't have one.
Because we've been on top of ladies and dominating them for thousands of years. You don't have a voice. You had your time to speak.
As a black person.
You had your time to speak.
As a black
person. And now it's done. And now it's time for you to let them take the floor. All right? It's women's time.
It's just
the future is feminine.
I hate that.
The future is feminine.
It's like
the masculine.
The solution
is a straight jacket.
The solution.
Where's your dress?
Oh my God. The solution.
Put on a skirt.
You look like a dress.
Yeah.
Let me talk.
And you show that you're able to be vulnerable and you can shed your toxic masculinity. Give me that Gillette razor right there, right now.
No, I ain't doing shit.
Because right now, there's a lot of toxicity just growing out of your pores. And it's bothering me.
It's called facial hair.
Facial hair? Yeah? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Is that what you said when you smeared it on a woman's face and said, bow down to me?
Oh, my girl's like that when I do that.
She likes it because she's been told she has to like that because patriarchy.
Oh, no, she's like me.
Yeah, listen, this guy over here doesn't want to wear dresses, doesn't want to wear skirts, doesn't want to use Gillette razors, probably doesn't like Brie Larson. Listen, he's got all kinds of problems.
I do.
And let's be honest, he's very, very problematic. You know, when we talk about the I As Well movement, you too.
You're having a blast right now.
Okay, so you don't hate women in general, but why do you hate black women?
I don't.
You sure?
I'm sure.
But how are you going to lay with a white devil and try to come here and try to... You can't lay with the enemy and be an ally. You can't lay with the devil and be a soldier of God. You can't lay with the maggots and fly like a butterfly. Pick one. Choose one. You are the one who's disappointing us.
I guess.
Okay, so I think out of the two of us, she gets the most flack, but I probably get the most angry.
You're the problem.
Here's the thing.
You're the problematic one.
I've done preach again. He's been with this girl since he's 16. I've done a lot of dating, and so I've had to be intimate with ladies. And over the years, as that's happened, I've just seen a lot of behavior, and it's been behavior that I've known to be detrimental. I mean, I love my mom, but growing up most of my life, my mom had this terrible habit of nagging you to the point where you were going crazy. And we don't talk about that form of toxicity. And I never understood it, how it negatively impacted me. Because me today, I still live for that. Like if a woman nags me once, I tell her to leave get out. I can't. Like if you tell me I will go take out the trash, I'm like, cool, I'll take it out in a minute. And if 20 seconds later you say it again, I'll tell you to leave right away. I can't. But that's because how I was raised. That affected me for a long time. And over the course of the dating experiences, I would see women be, physically abusive. I would see women say things that I thought were unacceptable, and just a lot of behavior that I'm like, who raised you? But I can't be mad at them because of the fact that none of this is spoken about in mainstream media. Nobody talks about a lot of this stuff. You know what I mean? When we talk about women, be like, yeah, be a man. Women always say that. Women be like, yeah, be emotionally vulnerable. You're like, okay, cool. And then they use your vulnerability against you. Nobody talks about
that happens a lot.
Right? Nobody talks about the fact that women feel comfortable slapping you and hitting you even when they're just like, right? It was like, who told you can put your hands on me? But then nobody told them it was unacceptable. And a lot of the people I've dated, I hate when I hear this too. People be like, you just dated crazy women. No, I didn't. These are good, functioning people that I've dated. But they live in a society where they've never been taught that that kind of behavior is unacceptable. Ever. And so I'm dealing with this negative stuff. I'm being told how to behave from mainstream society and how to be a better person because my behavior is wrong. And I'm like, okay, so I adjust. And I'm learning and I'm trying to do better. But nobody's telling ladies to adjust. Do you know how many women I've told, like, hey, do you know this is wrong? And they're like, what are you talking about? And I've had to walk them through it and explain the logic. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, wait, nobody ever told you?
No.
It's unacceptable to use people's emotional vulnerability against them? Really? Nobody. Nobody told you that it's kind of a double standard that you expect men to lead and to be stoic when it matters, but also you expect them to be emotionally vulnerable and all this stuff. Like, nobody told you that doesn't make sense. Nobody told you that it's a double standard that you expect men to pay for everything when it goes to dinner and fun times, but you don't want to pay any of that even though you claim to be an intersectional womanist? Huh? Like, I'm having these conversations and I'm realizing they just don't know. Some of them don't want to know, some of them don't care, they want to keep things the way they are, but some of them also don't know. And I think when I start to speak on these topics, I find myself swelling up because I'm reliving certain experiences or I'm drawing from that's happened to me, right? Stuff that I know is negative, stuff that I know is unjust, and I've had to tolerate because I'm a man, and she's a woman. And when you live in a society that encourages that, sometimes it'll get you a little riled up. And so when I'm making these videos, I catch myself, I'm like, bro, why am I getting, and I understand now. So I'm trying to do a better job of not letting those emotions flare up when I talk about this stuff, but it's difficult. It's difficult. Because I can assure you, most of the negative stuff that's happened to me in my life has been as a result of women. And that's something that a lot of you may not want to believe, but it's the truth. And not bad people, not malintentioned people, just people who didn't know. Because I'm a good judge of character. I know how to weed out bad people. So the people I'm talking about are not bad. They do bad things because they don't know they're bad. And so unless we talk about it, how are we going to move forward? And the reason why men gravitate so much towards our content is because of the fact that
nobody says that. There's a void we're filling. There's a gap. So
it's not that we're the best voices for this. It's not that we have the most intelligent discussions or all that stuff. It's the fact that nobody's talking about it in the mainstream. Nobody's allowed to. And so finally, people are filling the gap. How do you think the Joe Rogan podcast got so big? Part because he's a great entrepreneur, part because he's a great interviewer, but also because we've never had a male Oprah. All this to say, what you guys see as misogyny, I'm like, no, this has just been a long time of men having to be silent about a lot of stuff that you ladies do because of the fact that society says it's okay for y'all to do what y'all do.
Pretty much. So,
that's where all the topics come from. That's where these discussions come from, and that's where we're trying to provide insight.
Whenever I ask someone why you think we're misogynist, and they're like, well, look at your comments. That's not me. That's not us.
No.
And yes, there are people that go overboard in the comments. They are. But don't make it that is me. It's not me doing that.
It's YouTube.
It's the internet. If that's your only argument, you don't have one.
You know where tubes go? Sewers. You know what's in the sewers?
Garbage.
YouTube. Okay? Just saying.
Why are you so misogynistic, man?
Last I checked, it's you that's got most of the problems.
Yeah, for that one video.
Oh, not just that one. A lot of people think you hate black women.
They're just mad because I go out with a white girl.
We do these videos because it serves you guys. We do it because we enjoy it, but also because it's useful to a lot of people. It is. You know, when people can look at their own behavior and fix a lot of stuff that they're going through, I'm like, great. I'm happy to hear that people are trying to be better people. I'm glad. I'm ecstatic to hear that.
That's why you do the videos?
I do it to serve. I could never do videos that were popular and that didn't serve any purpose for the people.
Yeah, I understand. But I do the videos because when we have a subject, sometimes people want us to talk about a subject. Mm-hmm. But if we have a stance that is not adding to the conversation or another side of the story, we don't do it. Mm-hmm. Because if it's already been said, why put more on top? So I do it because when I see a point that is not being said, it's interesting to me to see an opposite side. Just to question that.
Right.
Question everything.
Right. But you've seen me on panels where there's been us and 7 other people.
Yes.
Other people speak first. They say pretty much everything that's needed to be said.
And you don't need to repeat.
And I'm like, when it's my turn to speak, I'm like, I have nothing to say because they've already covered it. I don't need to hear my own voice.
No.
I'm not just talking into a void to talk into a void. And, you know, just so I can make some cash. It's not interesting to me. So I do this to serve. And if it didn't serve people, then I would stop doing this. I would find a different way to serve.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only way I find fulfillment in this work.
Well, you can serve Jesus.
True. That's true. It's a good alternative backup plan. You heard that, Jesus?
The baby Jesus?
The baby?
The baby?
Well, I remember, like, I told preachers, but when I was in Portugal, like, a couple approached me and they said, yo, I love your videos. I appreciate what you guys do. And I'm like, thank you. And he's like, by the way, like, I show my videos to my girlfriend and we talk about them and it helps us in a relationship. And I'm like,
dope.
That to me is like one of the best comments I ever, because like within each other, they're learning to better communicate and better understand each other.
That's
so
dope.
That's all you really want out of these things. So hopefully you guys better understand why we cover some of the topics that we do.
It's not a thing on women, it's just that's who we deal with. And there's a lot of problems that are not covered.